Guys, I think this is shocking that if you Google top 20 beaches in Europe, not a single Polish beach will come within a sniffing distance of that list, nor any further list. Yes, it's the tragic fact that Poland's beautiful Baltic beaches are long forgotten. But that's good news for you, fellow traveler, because it turns out that they are rather fantastic to go and visit. So I've just come back from 2 weeks spent sunning my portly body on the Polish Baltic coast, eating my fill of fried fish and sallow yellow chips or fries, as our American cousins would call them. And it struck me, John, and I know you're about to go and do the same, or whatever it is you do on your holidays. It's conjecture. I have some speculation.
We'll get onto that in just a moment, Paddy. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I just think it's actually one of those unknown gems of Poland that people don't appreciate the fact that, just so you know, Poland has 770 kilometers of coastal, beautiful beaches. Yes. John, 770.
Yes. That's a lot. That's a lot. I would say that only a few hundred of those kilometers are really, truly beautiful, though. I'm a big fan of the Baltic coast to the west of Gdańsk. In a village, I love staying in a village called Kopalino and Lubiatowo. I don't know whether any of our viewers have heard of those villages. I'm going to be going there next weekend. I can't wait. I've been there. I think we've been going there now for about 5 or 6 years with my family. It's west of this very popular resort called Dębki, where all the hipsters used to go to, and now, well, I suppose they still go there. But this place is in the middle of nowhere. You have to cycle around everywhere, and the best thing is that it's actually, you have a very good, talking about exercise, and as you said in your previous story, Paddy, about people, with slightly slightly portly proportions, just walrusing it on the beach. You actually have to cycle a good 10 or 15 kilometers to get to the good places. But luckily, in this part of the Baltic coast, you actually have a Eurovelo route. So you have a beautiful kind of cycle path actually through the forests, and you can actually choose which entrance to go onto, so you can actually really kind of get to the secluded beaches and practically have the Baltic to yourself, mate.
It's funny you should say that, John, because I decided whilst I was doing my research, looking deeply into this story and thinking about it, to summarize 5 key facts for why Poland's beaches deserve to be higher in that bleeding ranking than they absolutely are. By the way, I've had a fantastic comment from long-time watcher, listener, and supporter, Jeffrey Simbler. Jeffrey had a wonderful first time in Gdansk, but it wasn't beach weather when I was there. Jeffrey, John and I hail from the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland. Every day is beach weather, my friend. Gdansk is a must for tourists. You're absolutely right about that. I've come up with 5 reasons why I think Poland's beaches deserve to come higher in the top rankings than they are. So number 1 is length.
Yeah.
As a shortly fellow myself, shortly and portly, I'm not a massive believer in length, but I have to say, 770 kilometers, that's a heck of a lot of beaches.
Yeah. Number 2, they're really wide as well. You get really wide beaches. Yeah.
Super wide with fine, soft sand. None of that hard, gravelly pebble stuff that you get on British beaches. Also, John, cheap. So it's affordable affordable rented accommodation and available hotels all along that coastline. Some of it's easier to get to. So Gdansk, Jeffrey mentions here, is well served by an airport. Places like you're mentioning might be a drive away, but you can get there and get around.
There are trains. You can get a mini. I think there's like a mini bus there, like 4 or 5 mini buses a day from Wejherowo, which is like a town west of Gdańsk or west of Tri-City. So it is accessible if you don't have a car.
Number 3, amber. All you have to do is walk along the beach and amber will make its way to you like some kind of pot of gold brimming with amber sesterce. So that's actually really cool because it turns walking up and down in a beach not just a boring activity you have to do because your loved one forces you to do it, but because you want to do it to equip yourself with amber. Number 4, weather. Unlike certain countries, Poland is more or less guaranteed to have at least hot weather. Might be a little bit stormy, might be a little bit of rain from time to time, but most of those days will be dry and sunny. And number 5, John actually cottoned onto this, something which I did not appreciate, which is the the pine forests that that edge the beaches are not only beautiful from the
Smell of
point of view
those
of the beach,
forests.
but on the vast majority of the cases, you have to walk or cycle to get there. So you don't have horrible hundreds of cars all lined up right by the beach edge. You don't have, in the majority of cases, huge hotel complexes kind of ruining the view with loud music and all this kind of stuff. If you want a secluded, beautiful beach holiday on soft, dulcet like sand with barely a soul around because they're all hidden in their paravana, their little things that you can go a hell of a lot worse than to the Polish Baltic coast. Now, John, I have to tell you one last thing, though, before we finish this story, which is sadly, I spent some of my time in my research phase with my nose deep in the information of water pollution. And unfortunately, for several decades, the Baltic has had a stinky reputation. It's one of the most polluted seas on the whole of the earth. Now, little known fact, John, as you know, I like to look into my military history. It turns out that after the Second World War, a significant amount of chemical weaponry was dumped in the Baltic Sea. Wasn't needed anymore. And unfortunately, because of that and many other reasons, including ecological reasons today, I wouldn't advise drinking a cup of water from the Baltic Sea, John, after everything I've read.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. There is one there is one final thing which is missing from your regaling about the Baltic and the Polish seaside, and that is the amazing collection of lighthouses you get dotted across the Polish seafront. And I recommend to anyone who's going to be up on the Baltic coast this summer to go to, let's say, Ustka, which is a beautiful coastal town where I actually spent many summers back in the 1980s when I was growing up. And also the most beautiful one in like my favorite village, my favorite spot is the Stilo lighthouse, which is just east of Weber. And that's, of course, Jeffrey's chiming in with a comment there. Don't forget Westerplatte, of course. But Stilo, of course, is in the middle of a forest, and you can climb up to the top, and you have this amazing vista of these beautiful pine forests, and then the Baltic. Obviously, you can't quite see Sweden because it's quite far away. You can't even see Bornholm, which is another Danish island in the Baltic, where lots of Poles like to go holidaying during the summer months. But definitely do check out the lighthouses if you are in that part of the country, and you won't be disappointed.
Well, John, I'm too busy staring at people's overweightness, looking at stories for the first
looking
news.
at the fun things in life, Paddy. You know,
once a journalist, you're never off duty
mountain.
as a journalist, John. Just always on the hunt for a story or the sniff for a stinky sea.